Welcome, 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 everybody, to another great episode of Real Life Matters. And of course, I am your host, DBoss, and I'm just thanking everybody who's been doing their 15 minutes or laughing or more. I've been telling everybody thank you for doing it, and the ones who are not doing it, please try to do a minimum of 15 minutes a day. Because it's going to make you feel all together good. It's going to help you with your day. It's going to help you with your blood pressure. It's going to help you with if you have blood pressure, it's going to help you release stress. It's going to keep you looking youthful. It has so many health benefits. It has to laughing. It just helps you all around, heal your body, and your abs. Of course, you don't stop going to the gym because that's not going to help you at all. Okay, so you have to keep going to the gym. You have to keep that enrolled in addition to your gym routine, or your fitness or whatever activity that you're doing. So, and if you don't have anybody to laugh with, you can always call somebody. You can, watch something funny. You could, there's so many things you could do. Or you could just be, the talking, or if you're in front of friends and stuff, you guys, most people are always laughing or talking about good things. So, and I had a Caribbean comic guy came on, and he said that most times Caribbean people won't have a problem, have this problem to laugh because they're very comical. So, if you go in and have a good group of people, well, then you'll be laughing. So today I got a special guest today. I don't know. I think it's dancing week, dancing, hip hop, old school R&B. It's all the above. So, we're going to hear something from one of our sponsors, and we will be right back with our special guest we're going to hear something from Vital Steps to Vital Health.
Welcome to Your Vital Steps to Better Health and Fitness. I'm Joanne James. Today we're going to talk about working out when you have a cold. I get that question quite frequently. Is it a good idea to work out when I have the cold? Well, if you have sniffles, maybe a runny nose, maybe not so bad. You don't want to work out intensely. However, if you have chills and a fever, stay home, take care of your body. Now, when you're exercising, if you have a cold, make sure that you don't work out too intensely. Stay from a basic to moderate intensity workout. And again, if you do have a flu or if you have the chills, don't work out at home. And if you're going to work out, try not to go into a gym or a club to do this. All you're going to do is pass your germs around. So remember, if you have a cold, take your time, let your body heal, then go back to working out at your full intensity when you're ready. I'm Joanne James. This has been your Vital Steps to Better Health and Fitness. We'll see you later.
Well, thank you, Joanne James, for that tip. But our next guest I'm going to find out from him if that's okay. If that's actually true, if people actually work out, if it's a good idea to work out. She told us yesterday, gave us a very good tip. But our next guest, we're going to have to dissect him down today because we got so many people. He does dance. He does dance. He's a fitness trainer, instructor. He's an author of this book called Oddly Enough, and we're going to tell him. He's going to tell us all about that. He's also a mental health advocate, and his book ties in with that. And he also was on Let's Talk Bell with Bell, and he's going to tell us about all his journey, everything that he's gone through, and we're going to find out all about him and all his stuff, where he is, how he is, and what he stumbled upon, in his journey, because these guys have a lot of people to talk, a lot of things to talk about, and what their journey expressed. So with no further ado, introduce to you AUDLEY COLEY.
Hey, hello, bonjour, tout le monde from Montreal. Hey. I love what you're talking about, laughter. Laughter is a gift from the gods. And I got a chance to meet you last week, and I got it firsthand laughing with you, and you are the best. The laughter that, work the abs, which is true. It doesn't mean you to stop going to the gym, but definitely Laughter brings out the endorphins and the tension. And if you're around people that don't laugh or don't have a good time, you're in the wrong crowd. But thank you so. There you go.
Divorce
Yes,
them.
thank you so much. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank big shout out to Alvin Jones who brought us together. That made this happen. If you're listening, Alvin, or if you're here for later, big shout out down in where's Alvin? Up in the woods.
Toronto. He's up in the north part.
Oh, no, he's in the north. He's not. He's not in the woods. What's that? What's that called? Anyways, Alvin, yo, big up to yourself because here we are Wednesday. What a week! I'm telling
Right.
you, I was
And then what's going on too? Oddly, you know, we hear I just talked about it's because we know that you do fitness.
okay.
So is it a good idea for people to work out if they have a cold?
No, I don't. I don't recommend it. I just was just watching your commercial, and you see, especially going to a gym, if you have enough energy to work out at home, by all means. But usually, when you have a cold, it's your body saying it's time to like just rest. So actually, resting and and staying at home and staying quiet is a good thing because if you are not well, you shouldn't be going to a gym or going in an area where you can pass on your cold. But usually, when you have a cold, it's your body telling you that you need a little time out. So, as I said, personally, I don't think that you should be working out or being around a gym or being around people when you have a virus, a cold, or so forth. But there's nothing to say if you have enough energy and you're at home, you can do whatever you want.
All right.
Yeah.
So we want to. So here, okay. So we're going to step back before parent real life matters. We like to know where people's culture and their background, where they come from. So where do you come from? I know you come from Montreal. You told everybody.
No, no, I
But
live in Montreal. Nobody comes from Montreal.
okay, we live there.
It's like when I went down, I was in California and I was in San Diego, and I realized nobody comes from San Diego. They all come from everywhere else, but they live there. Now, in my case, I was born. I'm a proud Jamaican, right? I know I don't look like one, I don't sound like one, but yes, I'm from a place in Jamaica called Mandeville, Manchester. Big up
Okay.
Mandeville, Manchester, Mandeville. And my parents migrated from Mandeville to Toronto. So actually, resided in Toronto. Our family started in Toronto. So my dad, Lester, Lloyd Coley, Doreen Elise Coley. Uh, we started in Toronto. Thanks to my mom. My mom was the first, uh, the pioneer that went to Toronto and brought the rest of the family up. And we're talking about
Okay.
like in the late '60s.
Wow.
I arrived to Toronto in '68. So that's where I got my base ground, and that's where I started the journey into dance. Was actually in Toronto, and then it led me, to Montreal, New York, and Frobisher Bay, Northwest Territories.
So what type? So what type of dancer are you?
Well, right now I'm a survival dancer because I'm one of those guys that actually made a living dancing, and I just turned 65 and I'm
Oh,
still, yep, yep, yep.
yep.
And I'm still dancing, right? And but I started out as a street dancer. As you say, I got this is my favorite award. With all the awards I've actually received, this award I got last weekend is my favorite because it was from my peers, guys in this dance street area. Uh, I started out as a locker, the lockers dancing, which is the father, the great the break dancing. So that started out in the '70s, and so we were growing up watching the Lockers, which started the dance on Soul Train in the '70s, and that's when I got
Wow.
the bug. So I would watch Don Campbell on the Lockers in the '70s, and I didn't realize I was a dancer per se, but when I was around 12, 13, I won a dance contest in Regent Park, dancing to James Brown, who was my favorite artist.
Ah,
And I got a can of Coke and a bag of chips, and the rest is history. Got
that's
a,
what you got?
yeah, that was a lot in those days. I mean, now you see
That's
these
not real.
guys dancing with the stars. They're getting. But I know my friend, you had to spin it, Bobby Martin. Bobby Martin was winning cars, and I have never. I mean, I've been involved in dance contests, but I've never been in the big prize money stuff. But I started as a street dancer, and then after while I was dancing in Toronto, I met some dancers, which was really weird. They were actually they're Bobby Martin's cousin, uh, and they were going to a school called Roland and Romaine, and they were doing jazz, and I fell in love with the style, and so I started at this club, at this school, Roland and Romaine in Toronto, and and they thought that I had talent, So they gave me this award here, as I said, the most promising dancer.
Wow.
And after that, as I said, the bug was on. I couldn't. There was no turning back. And as I said, I just went into it hardcore. I lost my job in Toronto. I got kicked out of my house in Toronto. Got my mom was
Oh
like,
God.
"Hey, okay, son, you got to be more serious. You will not be able to do as a dancer. Our background, as I said, my dad was a police, and my
Oh,
mom
your dad was a police. Where in Toronto?
in Jamaica.
Oh, in Jamaica. Okay.
But in Toronto, both of them worked at Toronto General Hospital. So apparently,
It's funny. A lot of people who came from the West,
everybody.
they were all working at the
Yeah,
Toronto
I
General
found out. I
Hospital.
found out that this weekend that my friend Alvin Jones' mother also worked at TGH.
Oh my
So
gosh.
indirectly, we probably have all kind of known each other. And I actually knew Alvin because he was my neighbor. He lived on the next street over from us on Dover Court. And Bobby lived on Birchmount, the next street, Concord. And I'm on Delaware. And this is like 50 years ago.
She.
So on the weekend that just went by, there was this whole full circle of like we were kids and now we're adults or grandparents, and we end up in Brampton because of dance.
Yes.
Yeah. So as we speak right now, I'm living in Montreal and I'm teaching dance, and I have a
Oh, you
group.
teach dance too and fitness, right?
Oh yeah. Okay, it's a whole a package. That's what I said. I got serious when I moved to Montreal, and I started studying at ballet jazz, and so I started doing more of a ballet and jazz, and I danced professionally. So I was touring around. I went to the States, went to Europe, and getting paid good money, and it was nice to get paid and go back home and buy my
Well, instead of
mom.
a bag of chips and a Coke,
Well, you got to start somewhere, right? And as
I
I
can't buy.
said,
I can't buy nothing.
but what's so nice about it is, as I said, I've worked with some of the top artists here in Montreal. Rennie Simard. I danced and went to Elvis Presley's home with Rennie Simard. I choreographed and danced with Mitsu, who was the Madonna of the '80s in Montreal, and so I mean that's why when it dried up, you got used to these contracts and dancing and making money. Then when it dried up, then I got more into fitness and get certified as a fitness trainer.
So,
And
did you dance in that show that they had like a little dance show in Montreal?
which one was that?
I don't remember, but they had one. It
Well,
was on
they
TV.
had a show at the end of the year to go, bye bye. That would be the end of the year in Montreal. but I didn't dance on that. Donnie Jordan. You see, when I got here, the position for black dancers was already taken, and it was either Andre Lucas, Donnie Jordan, who was Phil Cole. These were the guys that were occupying those positions, like, as far
Okay.
as male dancers. So I was always the other guy.
I went to their dance thing. Phil
Okay.
Cole and them. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So
it
as
was
I said,
something.
yeah. So Phil and Donnie had a school. I think
Hmm.
it was called a Dance Factory.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
went there.
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean I really, it's funny when you're in entertainment, you are the competition. So it's not like they would ever call me up when there was a job opening and go, "Hey Ollie, there's a job opening." No, 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 no. So I had to make. I literally came to Montreal and made a name for myself. But
Okay.
my major influence that when I came to Montreal was ballet jazz and watching George Randolph. There was a George Randolph was a principal dancer at Alvin Ailey's, and he was dancing with ballet jazz. And this guy was muscular, and he was just elegant the way he moved, and I was actually in Toronto when I saw them perform, and he danced, and I was like, I saw like a man move, and when I saw him move, it really encouraged me to pursue my career a little bit more and get more serious about ballet. And I still see George, and when I see him now, I tell him, you know, you influenced me, you know, because there was another dancer that was in with ballet jazz, and he was from Amsterdam, but he was tall, very different body, but like as I
Mhm.
said, amazing dancer. But George was more closer to my body style because I
Okay.
used to play a lot of sports. I played hockey, basketball, and even ran track and all that. So I
Oh
was,
my gosh. All around.
yeah, you know, but you know, actually, training your body to from an athlete to become like a classical dancer is very, very difficult because your
Oh,
body's already developed, and then you have to train it, you know, to stretch. And so I lost a lot of that fire, because in street dancing, everything is like that, right? And when you go to classical, it's more about the lines, you know?
okay.
Yeah,
Well, at least it lined up.
yeah,
Oddly lined up with the
yeah. No,
question.
but it's weird because everybody in my family who pursued other areas, I'm the one that was the most successful, as far as once I got into the dance, I didn't even know I was doing dance therapy and all of it, because it's just now that they've started to see when you dance what it does for your brain. And now they offer dance at the university at here, dance therapy. You can get a certified, and they're offering dance at Le Grand Ballet. And
Okay.
up until the pandemic, I was actually teaching at Le Grand Ballet in dance therapy. And this is people that have any kind of mental health challenges, right? But trust me, when I started to dance, there was nothing that would imagine that one day I'd be into this whole mental health um, journey. But you know, the universe, God, you know, I find you're just a passenger. Like stuff just happens. Like even you, like you know how we met the other day, and here we are.
You just
I'm just
pass
a
it.
passenger.
Right. But for you, now, you went into your mental health and then after you wrote a book. But we're gonna say, so you took you so what made you, and they picked you for, Bell Let's Talk. How did they go about the selection process for you to be the ambassador and to talk about mental health?
Well, first we went way too far, too fast. First of all, as I said, I'm a dancer. Carefree life is great. I'm living the life, you know, and then I have a major breakdown. Okay, so
Wow.
I didn't just get to Bell. I had to go through that
The channels.
the 23rd Psalms of the through the shadow of death. So when I had the breakdown at like say 27, 28,
Wow.
that's when I had to reinvent myself. Okay, because
Okay.
now I cannot dance. I cannot do what I thought that I was supposed to do. So I
Okay.
didn't even, that's why I said when they even they didn't know what my diagnosis was. So at first, they just gave you a lot of medication and just medicated you until they try to figure out, medicate and put in the corner until try to figure out what's going on. And eventually, over a couple of years, the different medication they gave me, and then they said, okay. And then they come back to the table and go, yeah, I think he's manic depressive, right? And so that stuck. Okay, it wasn't like they said, okay, he's manic depressive, and they went back, and they came back and go, maybe we're a little bit too hasty, and so I did not accept bipolar manic depressive. But then I
Okay.
went on my own and I researched, and then I said, okay, fine. And but you have to accept that you have this issue before you can start to deal with it. It's
So
like
that so this issue being manic and manic depressive bipolar. So did it affect? Did you do things in life that you wouldn't have done? That you know, if you
definitely.
didn't know what you had, that you
Definitely.
had
Yeah.
that.
Because you see, all of a sudden you're normal, according, okay, you're a dancer. It's normal to be a dancer. It's normal to be an artist. But now you have a label, and it could be a death wish because a lot of people that say they're schizophrenic or they have whatever kind of mental issue. God, back when I got diagnosed, nobody spoke about mental health. It was
Yeah,
not,
and especially black people don't speak about that.
especially black people, because even in my family, they didn't accept the fact is what the doctor said when the doctor said, Mr. Coley, Mrs. Coley, your son has a bipolar illness, and and they're like they don't get it, they don't understand that kind of lingo, because
No.
when my parents were told about this, they thought it was voodoo, or like in Jamaica we call it obia. Like, oh yeah, oh yeah. So it was like, God, there's nothing wrong with my son. My mom was like, very avid of God. Even when I got out of the hospital the first couple of times after I went in, she threw out my medication. She literally took the medication and flushed it down the toilet because she goes, it's not, I don't accept this diagnosis. So
Okay, so for you not taking those medications, it must have caused a reaction, and you
it
just
did, it did. So
because
I was going up, because like no, it's like as I said in with Jim Carrey mask. Oh, he's manic. No, it's not. It's voodoo. No, it's not. Voodoo, manic, voodoo. So I'm inside of me. I'm getting pulled. I don't know. I've never been manic. And I've heard a lot of the actions that I
Mhm.
was doing is only when people put voodoo on you or obia. So my mom get rid of the medication and start going to these spiritual people and paying money for them to give me all kind of stuff and do all kind of stuff to me. But you see, the joke is she'd bring me to these people to take care of me, and then I'd mash up their place. Like I literally, she, she bring me to these guys to go wash me and give me stuff to drink. And when I mash up their place, they said, take him out of here. Because I'm mashing up their business because I go, I don't know. You throwing all kind of chicken stuff on me and
Oh my
this and
God.
that. I go, I grew up in Canada, so I don't I'm not. I okay. I'll take my chance with the hospital, but I'm not going to have somebody make me believe that somebody has enough power that they can put voodoo or whatever on me. I go, no, 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 no.
Right.
I see that I didn't believe in that.
Hmm.
Okay, so as I said, as I studied more about bipolar manic and the people, Elvis Presley, President Kennedy. If you read my book, you'll see the people that I found out. Winston Churchill. All of these guys had some form of, imbalance or mental health,
Mhm.
and they cope whether to drinking or smoking. So
Mhm.
now I went out to do my research, and I said, okay, fine, I'm going to kick this. It's like an alcoholic. I'm going to balance this is oddly coming after mommy them sure bring me to Obiaman and all this. I go, no, I don't want no Obiaman in my life. I'm gonna go on no kind. This one, no, I don't need you. And I started exercising and my diet. So three things that is now also in the book was the exercising, which I always used to do, my diet, eating, and sleeping. Because when I wasn't sleeping, it's easy for anybody to put the hex on you. So got my life back together. And then once I got my life back together and I got back into my space, which is a gym where, I'm dancing again, then I was able to ground myself. And I went to the hospital and I was able to take the medication, but I never take like 3,000 milligrams because I balanced what I needed. Were able to cut it down so I could be productive. So now,
Okay.
fast forward, I'm at the Atwater Club, exercising, feeling good about myself. And then one of my students was going through some issues, and we're talking, and she wanted me to work her out, and cause she was going through a divorce, okay, and she had a bit of weight, and we talked, and I said, I will work you out pro bono for free. And I started working her out. And while we're working out, that's when we started having conversation.
Okay.
And gosh, I never shared my story with anybody and tell them about my mania or my mental health and that I was in the hospital and all. At work, that's who I am. I go like as I said in all that jazz. You put in your contacts, you put in your eye drop, you take your cigarette, and I always tell my student this: it's showtime, and you don't bring whatever to work. So she was shocked when she found out about my challenges. And we talked, and she goes, okay, let's make a deal. I will write your story, okay, in, ex- in exchange, a barter for you working me out. And that's how it started. So I worked her out. She got into shape. She saved her marriage. It's like a Disney movie. Okay, then I got my book. And then Um, there's a guy at the club who is a CEO for L'Oreal, and he comes to me one day and he gets the book, and his daughter was having some issues. They liked the book, so he said, "Can you bring me a book? This is not
Show the book.
this is not the
That's
original. This,
oddly enough.
this is not this is not the original book. 'Cause this is the second print.
Oh, that's the second one. Okay.
Yeah. So if you go online, if you go on Amazon, you will see both copies.
Okay.
Just Google oddly enough. If you want, you can also go to Bell. Let's talk, and you put in oddly. But so he brings the a book, a signed copy, to Bell Canada. He was having lunch with Bell, and Bell had Clary Hughes as their ambassador for years. But they wanted to have diversity. They wanted to have people of color to show that, different people have mental health challenges. So they went all across Canada and they had somebody from Saskatchewan, they had the First Nation, they had an RCMP. So if you go back, say 8 years ago, 6 years ago, and you'll see the lineup of the different looks. And what they did, they had everybody in a uniform, like a judge should look like a judge, an RCMP, they look like an RCMP, and so forth. And so I use the book, and the book is the hook because the book was brought to Bell, and my friend came back to the club and said, "Don't worry about a thing. They're gonna call you." Okay, all right. Next thing you know, I'm on a conference call with Clara Hughes and all the people from Bell, and they go, "We looked at your book, and would you be interested in being one of the face for Bell Let's Talk coming up. I, okay, and the rest is history. So it was like
Well, you were gonna say no.
but I still didn't get it. You see, only when the billboards went out and people were calling me from across Canada and said, "Ollie, I was driving. I don't know how many people I killed because they're driving on the Gardner and there's a big billboard of me, my head, on the Gardner. They're in Vancouver, across Canada, right? So I said, well, who could it be but God? Because He's going to lift me out of the madhouse, tied up and restrained, over medicated, and now I'm on billboards all across Canada representing mental health. And sometimes, as I said, I keep pinching myself because it's almost to believe what is happening. But my mom told me that years ago is that you have a message. My dad actually told me that you have a message for the world. But my mom never gave up on me because even when I was at the hospital at Wesley in Toronto, and I gave up because there was way too much drama, everything happening, and I'd lost custody of my son, and I lost my job. When you just hit the
Everything that's
wall.
happening to catapult.
And so mom comes into the Wesley Hospital in Toronto, where I was at the time. I said, "Okay, son, I had a dream and a vision. You have to get up and go now. I'm patient. I go, I'm not like it here. I get 3 squares a day. I don't have to worry about rent or nothing and all of this drama." She go, "No, son, you have to come out to the hospital now." Then she got real Jamaican on me because she's about 5'6", and this 5'6" woman picked me up physically. I was about 200 pounds off the bed, and my legs were dangling. And I'm trying to figure out where she get this strength from. And she picked me up off the bed. And the doctor, after I said, "Mom, if the doctors come in or anybody comes in and see this, they're going to lock you up too." So my mom looked at me and she goes, "Listen, you're my son. And if you have mental health issue or you're mad, I am mad too because you are my child." And that was the major turning spot. Never looked back after that.
Wow.
No, like it was like sometimes that's what I'm saying. Even when I'm here in Montreal, it's cold, it's tired. I've been working at the Atwater Club for over 20 years, teaching a group of women called the Yummy Mummies. I have over 60 ladies that I get up in cold for. I don't miss. I go to class. I'm at the club at 6 in the morning.
Wow.
And sometimes I'm lying down in bed and it's cold and the wind is blowing or whatever. And it's like my mother blow in my ears, "Get up." I go, "Get up. Well, you have to go to work." No, and I have a closer relationship with my mom now because she passed away last year. And as I said, I was having issues even mourning. But when I went to Costa Rica and I went to a higher vibration, because you see, the bodies that we have it's just a shell, and you don't. As dancers, we get it. Because when you dance, you're able to come out of your physical, and you can go to higher levels. And when I went to Costa Rica, and doing yoga and meditation and eating properly, there was a higher vibration. I was able to communicate with my mom and my dad. God, both of them passed away within the pandemic.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. But there's not a protocol on how to mourn. But my mom taught me how to cook. My mom taught me about gardening, and it's actually passed on the green thumb. And so even when I'm going stressing, I go into the garden. Okay. And there's certain days, like on a Sunday, I feel her presence just so much, so much. But then when I went to Costa Rica, there's a woman hey, Dawn in Costa Rica, and she's a psychic, spiritual, very highly spiritual person. And she came to me. She was doing a conference in Costa Rica. She came to me and go, "Ollie, I have something to share with you." Okay. She goes, It's like your mom came to me and said, "It's all good." It's,
Oh, that's
and it was like my mom came to you. Why would she doesn't even know you? That's like, you know, but see, on the spiritual realm,
level
you know,
realm.
yeah, and she was like, so since I got back from Costa Rica, I've been on this very da da da, and I know how to back up because before I didn't know how to ease on down or back up. And in the last couple of days or weeks, I put on a show, Kings and Queens of Canada. So I had some artists that came up. Um, hey, Tanya P, Molly
Mm,
Blast down in Toronto.
mhm,
Brought him up for a show because Tanya's dad, Cuba Pringle, in the grill, actually, when I was having my challenges with my mental health challenges, and I went down to Jamaica, saved my life. And the creator, the universe brought me back. So his daughter's a big artist. So people Google Tanya P. She's big. I
mm.
think she was nominated for Juno Award.
Yes, I know her.
And,
Yeah.
and when I found out that this was my friend that I grew up with daughter, and I called her and I told her about my relationship with her dad, and she came up here and we did a show and just like bust it, bust it, bust it. So now it's actually looking at doing a show back in the grill for Bob Marley's uh,
Hmm.
80th birthday next year. And what's
Okay.
interesting is that her dad, Cuba, is the one that fought with the Marley family to get the right to be able to do every year. They have the right to do Bob Marley's birthday annually. And it's coming back, people. You better get your tickets.
All right. So what's what? Okay, you did your book. You're doing all this other stuff. We have your book. So what's up next for you? What are you going to be doing now?
Well,
Anything new, or what?
now
There's something
let's put it
that
this
you
way.
want to do?
Nah. Well, as I said, I'm coming down after Alvin Jones took me to Brampton nightlife the other day and had me eating fish and chips at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll never be the same. But,
Hmm.
uh, I'm actually going to Paris. I'm preparing to go to the Paris Olympics next month.
Okay.
Because as an OG, so I had to do my own fundraiser because the Olympic community or Red Bull or all these didn't see where it was feasible to finance a bunch of OGs, the people that made breakdancing possible, because it would look good on the Olympic Committee or Red Bull or whoever to say, here's some clothing, whatever, tickets, right? These are the guys that are the as I said, the foundation.
All
But
right.
those foundation, Buddha in Ottawa and across Canada that want to go, we have to do our GoFundMe or find different ways to raise money to go to the Olympics. So I'm here in Montreal, and I do have a GoFundMe page. As I said, that I'm still trying to obtain some finance. Because I just think it's my idea was passing the baton. So it's just nice to pass the baton to the youngster to say the reason you're here is because of the Bobby Martin and the Rick Slates and the Buddhas of the world. They when we were dancing for nothing in church basement or on cardboard box, we never realized that in 2024 it's going to be at the Olympics, and it's just out of
Wow.
respect that you should take care of your OGs. If this was hockey, this we wouldn't even not be having this discussion.
Right.
but it's the first time that we're at the Olympics, and probably the last time. But Red Bull has their own idea. No,
So
no,
it's
because
true.
every time you're right. But you know what? It's so interesting. It's like music. Everybody wants to own breakdancing now that it has a world flair, right? But we, like as I said, I'm speaking in general for the guys that are out there that are trying to make funds. We just want to be there. 'Cause if I'm a young guy and I look and I see one of the OGs, and so yeah, man, right? That's all. We're just there for support. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm raising funds for myself so I can go and be part of the Olympics. And when I see one of these youngsters, but in the community, they come to you and they like when you show up. But now they're at the Olympics, and uh, but the OGs, it's like we're not there, and that's what's on my agenda as we speak right now. And
Okay.
also because I'm with mental health, and my journey or my mission is to show bring dance and mental health together as one. Because what dance has done for me and my mental health, it's a proof in the pudding. I went down with the Montreal Alouettes and we won the Grey Cup. When nobody didn't believe last year, I was in Montreal. That no, the guys know it. And they said, and I went to the manager here that works at our club. I go, the Owls are going to take it. I don't know. How do you know that? I just have a feeling. They went down. They beat Toronto. They beat Winnipeg, and they win the Stanley. This hat is not for anybody. This was given to me by the Montreal Alouette because of
Wow.
my belief. So you will see me in Paris for the 2024 Olympics because I don't really just want to support the dance. I'm really here for Canada,
Okay.
okay? Because I'm a mental health coach, and I congratulate Bernie Surin, who will be there as a chief, and also I think Wayne Gretzky's also there. But
Mhm.
for myself, I embody Canada. My mantra is never giving up. And I've been pleased to say Canada supported me when I was 13 years old by sending me to a jamboree in the States. But I don't want to give away everything. So
Okay.
if you
Then they
want to
got to get
know,
the
as
book.
Michael Jackson says to Oprah, buy the book. You can get it at Amazon, right? And I might even try to work something out with you where we can even have
Mm,
a raffle or give away a couple of books, right? But once you have the information and you really see the journey, you'll have a different understanding about who Audley George Coley really is. But my strength has a lot to do with my belief because my parents were very big religious or spiritual people, right? And I said, my Psalms is the 23rd Psalm, but never giving up. And I'm not here to complain, I'm here
no.
to celebrate. Okay. So, but it's important to support Audley to go to the Olympics or to buy his medication so he doesn't go off. Buy the book. Buy
All
the
right. Well, we're gonna play this little clip here, and then you can say your shout outs to your people when you come back.
All right.
And all right, hold on. We gotta
Bye.
play it. That's it.
Yeah, that was a show that I put. I was talking to Alvin the other day. I go, you put a show together what in 2 months? Normally, when you do the show, it's like 6 months to a year. But as I said, when I got in touch with Tanya and all that, it was like warp speed. That's King Shadrach. King Shadrach just got back from Seychelles in Africa, and he's
Okay.
killing it. He's the they call him Buju, like Buju
Okay.
Banton, but he has his own vibe.
All right.
So I used that show the other day, Kings of Queens. It was, as I said, it was mostly for Tanya, but we were able to also bring in a new artist, Paris Ivy, and as I said, Molly Bless is Tanya P's husband, and the vibes was crazy. I just got the videos together now, so I'm going to be putting it out there, and you know, get because I'm backing away from that scene because it's way too much for me right now. I just wanted to do that because that was my love. I might say thank you to Kuba for what he did, so I can do that. But the whole music scene and that is it's kind of over my head. So now I
Okay.
want to just focus more on the dance and
All right.
yeah, and then just being more the mental health and working with people in the mental health and the dance area. I mean that side, as I said, I touched on it the other day. It was great, but it's very exhausting.
Well, either you're in it or you're not. But
Yeah,
anyways, it's oddly, it's been a pleasure having you here talking about your journey. The journey continues. People support you. Like you can go to the Olympics and buy the books. I thought it was just that book, but then apparently there's another book. There's two books, so you can get the two books.
yes.
And his struggles and how he overcame, and he still, it's not really all done. He still has to continue his mental health and get checked and different things.
Oh yeah, no,
But you
no,
know how,
but it's for life. You live with it. But
yes,
as I said, I'm
you have
not.
control.
Yeah, yeah, it's in control. But also, I'm a public speaker, and so I have been hired to work with Bell Canada, L'Oreal. You know, when you go
Okay.
online, you kind of see the work that I do. So I'm also advocating that you have a company and you're looking for a motivational speaker. You want to come me to come to your schools and to make especially young kids who are struggling in families who want some kind of guidance. That's I'm available for those service, of course, with a
Okay.
cost. You
So
know,
where can they find you at your social media? So if they want to follow
yeah,
hire
yeah.
you for this thing.
My social media, as I said, WhatsApp. You know, and I can be reached WhatsApp
Your
and
website,
sorry.
your website.
Uh, my website is not really clean.
Okay.
Because I think I have too much action. So it's even
Okay.
better. Like my email address,
All
which
right. You
is
can say your email
Audley.
address.
Yeah, my email address was at Audley, AUDLEY, Coley, COLEY at gmail.com. And
Okay.
I'm not afraid to give out my number because my number is also available on Bell Let's Talk. So
Okay.
it's 514-451-9077. So yeah, if you have some interest in having somebody coming to speak at an event for mental health, or a motivational speaker, or even I have I call it a combination, which is like what you get at the restaurant, where you can get a workout and a talk.
It's true.
So
All right.
yeah, it's a package where you get an actual workout class, and then we're going to sit down, as I was saying, in Jamaica, and we're going to reason, right? So
Okay.
I I need to share this joy that God, the Creator, has given to me to the world, and that's what's happening right now. Because while I was in Toronto last weekend, please go to CBC. Cause Prince's birthday was last Friday,
Okay.
and so I was on with Duke Eatman on Friday on CBC. So if you go on to CBC and you go on the well, it used to be called Home Run, but
Okay.
it has another name. Like around 3 o'clock, you'll actually hear that interview. And the funny thing is, I'm the same year as Prince. So Prince
Okay.
Prince, I feel very, very honored. Prince' birthday and I were on the same interview. I was born in 1958, December. Michael Jackson was born in 1958, August 29th, and Prince 1958, June June 7th. So
All
I
right.
feel that I'm in very, very good company. And
Well,
I
it's been a
have,
pleasure. It's been a pleasure. And you know what I mean? And everything. Everybody go look you up, look your book. But I do want to thank you, Audley, for sharing the journey again. And I do want to thank the viewers tonight for tuning in here with Audley on his journey, mental health, dancer, fitness instructor, author. So you guys can find him. I support him, go out there and support. So everybody, good night and bye for now.